Welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, your weekly dose of what's new and what's nude in movies, TV, and Hollywood's sexiest stars. Now get ready for your host, the world's foremost authority on celebrity nudity, Mr. Skin.
The legendary Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin. Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts, Mr. Skin and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, sponsored by Stream8.com, the global leader in live streaming, with the hottest porn stars and amateurs broadcasting live directly from their bedroom to yours. Stream8 creates a totally unique and intimate experience where you get to direct the show however you want. With an endless variety of performers, you're sure to find your perfect match on Stream8.com. The question is, are you ready? But the bigger question is, are you ready for episode 77 of the podcast, the top 10 full frontal scenes? Woo!
No, yes, I am, Andrea.
Yes.
And by the way, we're not doing full frontal with Samantha Bee today. What I'm going to do is the 10 best full frontal scenes of 2017. And, you know, last week we did the best nude scenes of the year, and there will be a little bit of crossover, but there were so many great full frontal scenes from actresses that maybe aren't, quote, celebrities, but are great nude scenes that I wanted to get to and be able to show my skin appreciation for. And that's why I made this list for this week. And some of these you're going to know, some of these you won't know the actress. But Andrea, who doesn't love a great full frontal scene?
Dude, it's so unexpected. You know what I mean? We're so used to seeing celebrities cloaked in shadows or implied or their bigger boob, you know, being featured or a silhouette or a butt, a glimpse. But when you get a full frontal, it's like, whoa. I mean, it's the most wonderful surprise ever that we can get on the small or the big screen by these celebs. So I'm all about the full frontal, and I'm always curious to see how the ladies manicure their bushes too. So
yeah, there's going to be all different shapes and sizes in today's list, and
that's right. Even some wigs, maybe little merkin action.
Yeah, and I've always said full frontal is without question the most impactful form of nudity. I mean, you could have a great breast scene, a great butt scene, but when someone goes full frontal, that's when you really think naked, and that's a special kind of nude scene, and that's what I wanted to celebrate today with the best full frontal scenes of 2017.
Well, I am so ready to jump into this list and see all the hot, naked, full frontal goodness that you have in store for us and the listeners.
Yes. Well, let me start with number 10 on the best full frontal scenes of 2017. It's Jemima Kirk in Girls. She plays Jessa. The show ended last season, season 6. They did 6 seasons. And in the very first episode, there was a great scene where Alex Kapewski, or whatever his name is, Ray, walks into the apartment that Adam Driver and Jemima Kirk share, and she is nude eating yogurt, and then he soon comes in just a pair of black tighties and sits down. So she's just so unafraid of being nude in front of Ray. It's a really sexy scene. So she's eating yogurt completely naked. Adam Driver's there. They're having fun. They're kind of teasing this guy. And then Jemima Kirk stands up and walks across the room. And it really is a long scene, and capped off by this full frontal shot of Jemima Kirk. But so hot. And I don't know if you know this, Andrea, but Jemima Kirk, her father is Simon Kirk, who was the drummer in the classic rock group Bad Company. And
that's so cool.
Yeah. So, a lot of people don't know that, but she is a British actress, but really hot. And one of my favorites on that show to do a nude scene. I was really psyched when she started to do nudity. It took her a little while, but by season 6, she's going full frontal. And that was my number 10 full frontal scene of the year.
That's just phenomenal. You know what I mean? It's like we waited for it. And in this scene specifically, I'm getting like a little bit of some Hayden I don't know how to say her last name, Panettiere vibes from her.
Yeah, she
you know
looks,
what I'm saying?
That's a good call. She looks a little like her.
Yeah. So if you're not sure, if you're just listening to the podcast and you haven't seen who we're talking about, imagine Hayden nude.
Yeah, right.
But of course, go to MrSkinPodcast.com and check it out. Phenomenal. And my perspective, that's a real bush. These are real boobs.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's a long scene and it's epic, man.
Yeah.
So that's
and
number 10.
And her dad was a rock star, so check it out.
And her dad's a rock star. So you got rock star titties right here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So now number 9, by the way, so I worked this out with my content department because we really wanted to, literally looked through all the full frontal scenes that happened during the year, and our definition, there were a lot of scenes that could have made the list, but I didn't feel they were full frontal where you could see, you have to see bush and breasts at the same time. It can't be like you see someone's bush and then you see their breasts and then you see, it's got to be a full,
no twisting, no turning.
Frontal, right. And there was some that would have made this list if they hit that criteria, but they didn't. So anyway, number 9 is a girl named Caroline Breton in a movie called Elle. Now, Elle is a movie that this is where Isabelle Huppert plays a businesswoman who tries to track down an unknown man who raped her a while ago, and it's I think this had Oscar buzz and stuff in it, and for a foreign film, and it was directed by none other than Paul Verhoeven, who directed Basic Instinct and Showgirls, and it's awesome. And one of the great things from this movie is Isabelle Huppert did her 28th nude scene in this at age 63, and she still looked beautiful in it. And anyway, but this French actress Caroline Breton went full frontal, and look at that body. Now that's what I love about the French, au naturel. That is everything natural. And Andrew, I think I have an Eiffel Tower in my pants as I look at this right now. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, this is. When you think of like a French woman, this is what it comes to mind. It's that tiny yet curvy, big natural boobs, long flowing hair, gorgeous smile. I mean, she has a natural beauty, meaning like she's not caked in tons of makeup.
Right.
It's like she woke up like this. You know what I mean?
And you can tell even in the picture, she has a confidence walking around nude in front of 2 other people. There's a guy and Isabelle Huppert there in the scene, and there's just that French I'm nude, who cares? It's a really hot scene, and I'm so glad that I'm so glad that we're doing this list today because it's a way for me to kind of curate some of these great moments in cinema that happened this year that maybe I don't talk about because they're not super celebrity, famous people. But this was such a great nude scene. And by the way, just looking at her now, I could tell those are European breasts, something about those, so yeah.
You know what I was going to say? It's like, because her boobs are so big, you kind of overlook how gargantuan her areolas are.
Yes.
So if any of our listeners have a penchant for big areolas, you're going to want to check out Miss Caroline here in Elle.
Yeah, and if you want to, if you want to check her out at our website, it's Caroline Breton, Breton, in the movie Elle. Yes, she has some huge eolas, and we're big fans. Yes,
huge eolas on some big ass titties.
Yeah, and a nice bush, the whole thing, a great full frontal.
Pack.
Yeah, that was my 9th best full frontal of the year. Another one, and you and I talked about this show from the Stars Network. We got a lot of laughs out of this on the podcast. It's this.
I mean, it was something else. It was out of this world.
Yeah, it's today. Yatide Badake, that's her name.
And that wasn't one of your puns.
Yatide Badake in American Gods, this cool Stars show based on the 2001 Neil Gaiman novel, and it really this got a pretty good cult following when it aired earlier this year, and it's about this guy named Shadow, played by Ricky Whittle, and Ian McShane's in it also. and she plays Bilquis, the goddess of love. Yatide Badake does. But
who even knows?
What's so cool? There's a scene where she is laying completely naked on the bed. But what makes this so weird and crazy and noteworthy during the year, it's probably had some of the wildest nude scenes of all time, because this is where she would have sex with, humans and suck them into her vagina while they were having sex, something I've never seen in anything before. And they get transported to another universe. It's really crazy. And the actress that played that Bilquis, the goddess of love, is Yatide Badaki, and she's number 8 on my full frontal list of the year.
Yeah, the color of her skin is so gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
this deep brown. She's very smooth and supple looking. Like, she just looks very firm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just kind of want to squeeze her thighs.
Yeah, no, she's
gorgeous.
very hot, and I just thought
Big
this is.
eyes,
But like I
big
said,
lips.
not only was it good nudity, but really one of the strangest, craziest, wildest nude scenes I've ever seen, and it's from American Gods. These will definitely be getting Anatomy Awards. Trust me on that. So,
Totally.
Now, Andrea,
good call on that one.
Andrea, I think you're going to be able to relate to number 7, the name,
Why is that?
name of the TV series. It's called the number 7 full frontal of the year is India Menwez in a TV series from Amazon called I Love Dick. And this happened.
No, what's the name of the series? Skin?
Yeah, right. No. Oh, yeah. Let me get to the show now. But anyway, it's season 1, episode 6 of this incredibly well-named or funny named series. And it's actually an Amazon series from Jill Soloway, the creator of Transparent. And it's very arty, very sexual. And Kevin Bacon plays Dick. He's a writer who runs a retreat for other writers in Texas. And Catherine Hahn is one of them. And she had a really nice nude scene in this. But it wasn't a full frontal. The full frontal one that came in at number 7 on my list is this India Menwez. And Andrea, doesn't she kind of have a supermodel look to her? She's a natural redhead. It's I just love this scene, and I just love, you don't see a redhead do full frontal that often, and I thought this was really hot.
No, this is something special right here. And yeah, she does have a very supermodel look, and not like supermodel like Victoria's Secret supermodel, like kind of like a Calvin Klein supermodel.
Right.
A little bit of an androgynous look in the face.
Yeah, very
but
90s.
Very beautiful, and that natural, golden red hair. And then what I love about redheads when we get to see them naked is the color of their areolas are always so pale.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Yes, they have paleolas.
Paleolas. And I love paleolas. I know I've talked about it endlessly on this show.
Yes.
But I love them. But then when you get to see that glorious golden bush, it's like I've never seen one in person. So whenever I see one,
it's rare.
when we talk about it on the podcast, I love it because it's really something special, and it's unique, and it's so far and few between. And when you see how unique this kind of brand of beauty is, and this nudity, it's really something to be noted. And I'm really glad you did. She's flawless.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at her naked body right now, in its full frontal outdoor light glory. And it's just perfect.
Yeah, it's a cool scene because India is in a crowded construction site in broad daylight, and she's surrounded by these horny construction guys, and she's doing it as a performance art piece. And I guess it's a masterpiece of ass, if you will, but it's pretty cool. And the show, we got some good nudity. I Love Dick, but this India Menwez is my number 7 full frontal of the year.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I'm all about her.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm
Very
with
nice
you.
catch
Now,
there.
number 6, I love this nude scene. It didn't make my top 10 nude scenes of the year because of the distance, but oh my God, did I love this. It's Carrie Coon, who I got to really know in the Fargo series, but she starred in The Leftovers, that's the HBO show based on the book by Tom Perrotta. It's about where 2% of the world's population vanishes, and they can't explain it. And it's weird because this show didn't do as well as I thought. It kind of flew under the radar a little.
Yeah.
It ran for 3 seasons from 14 to 17. And maybe if Carrie Coon got naked more, it would have done better. But this was in the very last episode. And look at that body.
I know. It's ridiculous.
She has like a 6-pack. Don't you see? I see a 6-pack.
It's like an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Really gives Jessica Biel a run for her money when you go to the most fit in Hollywood. I mean, who knew? As a trainer and as a nutritionist, it's like, in order to have a 6-pack, that takes a lot of dedication, and that takes like an immaculate diet. And it's like, I want to know what Carrie Coon's doing in her private life to give her this body on the small screen. I mean, that's
because she's got to be in her mid 30s to, she's not like in her early 20s or anything. So
it's crazy. Yeah. I'm counting 8 6-pack muscles.
Yeah, 69-pack, right? Yeah. So
yes, baby. Yeah. But aside from her killer abs, she's got amazing boobs.
Yes.
And I knew her from Fargo. I had no idea any of this was going on underneath those thick layers of clothes they were wearing in that cold Fargo weather, don't you know? And it's like her body's ridiculous.
Yeah. I love this nude scene. And they also show her butt when she's getting into this weird room at the end of the 3rd season. But it was a pleasant surprise. Carrie Coon had never done a nude scene like this. So awesome. That was my 6th best full frontal of 2017.
I'm with you. Now it's time for our Cam Star Spotlight of the Week, sponsored by Stream8, the largest live cam platform online. Today we're joined by Sweet X Melody. Hey, Melody, how are you?
Hi, I'm fantastic. Just got done doing an ice cream custom video, so that was fun.
Wait, ice cream custom? You got to take us through this. Tell us how this went down.
Well, I went in my kitchen and I had a huge tub of vanilla ice cream and I rubbed it all over myself.
That sounds really delicious. I'm like thinking about the ice cream.
Was this a request or was this just what you do in a normal day?
It was a request.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's super hot. Now, I just want our listeners to imagine Sweet X Melody putting vanilla all over her. She's 19, 32, 24, 36. You're Asian, but you don't look full Asian to me. Are you mixed with something? Or?
Yeah, I'm Asian Hispanic.
Oh, girl.
Wow.
You are something else. Very, very pretty. So how long have you been camming?
I've been camming for a year now.
And obviously you love it. You love Stream8.
Oh, God, it's changed my life in a good way.
Mm-hmm. So you have lots of regular fans, and I take it, and people that love you and adore you.
Yeah, I have over 16,000 favorites on Stream8.
Jeez.
I know, me and Skin are like 16,000. That's a lot. So what is it that you think people love so much about you? Is it the way you look? Is it the way you interact? Kind of take us through why people are so into you, girl.
I've been told I'm very charming and I have really good etiquette, which I probably picked up when I worked at a call center. It's just having good etiquette is important.
No, that makes sense. Guys they want someone that's beautiful but also nice, right? That makes sense.
Yeah. Unless you're a dominatrix, then you're allowed to be mean.
Yeah, I see here that you're actually into the more submissive part of that world. So you're definitely not domineering or mean or rude. Because some guys are into that meanness and the rudeness.
Yeah, it's only on my really on certain days I'm okay with being mean, but it's very rare.
Now, what's the strangest request you've ever gotten from a fan?
See, the strangest requests are my favorite requests because they're normally the most easiest to do.
Interesting.
So, I would say, being a giant was to me really different. I had to pretend that I'm a giant woman and I'm stepping on tiny soldiers and stuff.
Jeez.
Your Skin, does that turn you on?
Yeah, well, it just depends. Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty weird. Now, did you get a huge tip from doing that? Did you get hooked up?
Well, he normally stays until his limit reaches the max. So he normally stays until he reaches his daily limit, which I appreciate. But I also have a lot of fun. Even though it's strange, I have fun. It's fun for me.
Right. I mean, of course, it's fun or you wouldn't be doing it. What is the biggest tip you've received from a fan on StreamMate?
On StreamMate, my goodness. I would have to say I've, received up to 500 in tip for a gold show. Yeah, that's just from one person. And he used to be a regular. He liked to urge other people to tip higher, but he'd always beat them no matter what was his thing.
That's
bidding.
awesome. Yeah. So tell us kind of what you love to do on camera. What is your all day, everyday kind of repertoire?
I love role play. Role play is my favorite thing. I love that. I love the interaction with people, hearing their scripts and playing it out, get different ideas.
So people actually submit like lines for you to perform?
That makes it easier, yeah, when they do that. Sometimes I wing it, but it's a lot harder to wing it since communication is really important to give them what they want. So yeah, normally they tell me, they'll quote lines for me to say. One time I role played as a naked ninja, and he read out every line for me, like I was scripted in a movie or something.
That's crazy. Now, what happens if you mess up a line though? Because I'm so bad with memorizing lines. Like I'm more of an improv person, so it's like, what if you botch a line? Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter if you botch a line. Sometimes they'll ask you to improvise from the line, so yeah.
I'm just blown away because Skin, you have to agree, when you look at her, she's like this just totally sweet looking thing, but she's very naughty.
Yes, I know. It's hard because as you're talking, I'm watching some of your stuff online. I'm like, holy geez. And you do come across, just from, I don't have the sound on, but you can see she's like a sweet, nice girl. It's a very, very tough thing to get your head around. She's beautiful, but also very sweet and innocent. No question about it.
I think that's also my other main attraction. A lot of people tell me what they like is that I don't look like the kind of girl that would be doing it. So I should,
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. You don't look like a typical girl that would do this. So you totally don't.
Look at Melody breaking stereotypes left and right. No, but that's why you're called Sweet X Melody, because you have this sweet girl next door, very exotic look to you. You're proper, you're nice, you're polite, but you are a kinky little thing. And I absolutely love you. I want everyone to check out Sweet X Melody, who's going to participate in StreamMate, because this is amazing. So I want to thank you, Melody, and thanks again to our sponsor, StreamMate, where you can interact with Sweet X Melody. And
yeah, definitely look her up.
Yes, you have to. She's gorgeous. And thousands of other sexy camp stars. It's StreamMate. Serious fucking business.
Now, number 5 is Sense8. It's from Sense8. It's this Valeria Bilello who did a couple of incredible nude scenes, and we fell in love with her. She's an Italian actress, obviously, and she's a model by trade, as you could tell. And Sense8 is a science fiction series on Netflix. It's created by the Wachowski brothers, the siblings. They created The Matrix.
Sisters.
Well, sisters, I should say, yes.
Yes.
And they started out as the Wachowski brothers. Then one became a sister, and now apparently they're both sisters. So
that's right.
Yeah, they're not only into this mind-bending sci-fi, they're into gender-bending in real life. So, I don't know the status, but good for them if that's what turns it on. But I got to tell you, the Sense8 had a lot of great nudity, especially from this Italian voluptuous Valeria Bilello, and her full frontal in season 2, episode 5 of Sense8 was our number 5 full frontal of the year.
I mean, I'm a big fan of that show, and I was not expecting this.
No.
And when I saw this, I was blown away because it's just beautiful, and her boobs are phenomenal. And like you said, she's a model. And so it's like when someone who's as beautiful, and Italian models, it's not like there's androgynous ones and there's this and that. They're only just beautiful.
Yeah. No.
Very sexy. When someone of this level of gorgeousness gets naked, it's always, going to make the list. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great. And she's in the tub, and there's no soap or anything. It's completely clear. You can see
no bubbles
everything. Yeah, no bubbles.
Our vision.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right.
So anyway, that was number 5. So number 4 on my best full frontals of the year is Diane Farr in Palm Swings. And we talked a little about this in one of the previous episodes. It's a joke about this couple, Sugarland Beard, who you might remember from Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, and Jackson Davis, who move into Palm Springs, California, and quickly realize the neighborhood's loaded with swingers. And this Diane Farr, it's interesting. She is best known, that show Rescue Me, Dennis Leary's fireman drama on FX. She was a regular cast member on that show. So when I've shown this on radio shows and stuff, a lot of the DJs will be like, oh yeah, I remember her from Rescue Me. And she's gorgeous. Like, I know she was like a teenage beauty queen. I think she was even Miss New York when she was like 19 or 20. And this Palm Swings has tons of great nudity in it. Not just Diane Farr, other girls, but wow, how awesome. I mean, that's all real. That's gorgeous stuff.
I was really shocked when I saw this. I don't know that Diane Farr has ever done any nudity. I mean, you would be the one that would know, but I've never seen it if she has. And I was blown away because, she's no spring chicken, and she's looking banging, and she has a confidence to her, and she's just like, let it all hang out. What I love about this scene too is everything is blurred out but her.
Yeah,
so you can't not focus in on the good stuff. And she's beautiful. I love it. And I think the premise of this is pretty epic too.
Yeah, she had a nice lesbian scene in a movie called About Cherry from 2012. And well,
look at you.
Yeah, I remember she was in Californication, but
she was.
There was a little body double action there, but some of it was her. But Palm Swings obviously is where you want to go for Diane Farr nudity. It's pretty awesome.
Totally.
Yeah.
Good on you. I love that one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very good stuff. So, okay, so that was number 4. So number 3 on my favorite full frontal scenes of 2017, number 3 is Jamie Newman in The Deuce. And what's funny, because last week I did my top 10 nude scenes of the year, and this week I'm doing my top 10 full frontal scenes of the year. I forgot to mention last week that, to me, the 2 best shows for nudity this year have been The Deuce and The Girlfriend Experience, and I didn't have either in my top 10. That doesn't mean, it just means that other shows had like one great scene that I liked maybe better than the best of the other 2, but in their overall body of work, those 2 are still the best. But Jamie Newman in The Deuce, I love this. It's an authentic 1970s body. I love, that's what I grew up on, tan lines, big boobs, big bush. And she's not like a BBW actress, but she's just full figured. And, before the fitness craze of the 80s. Before the fitness crazes of the 80s, this is how women looked in the 70s when they go full frontal. This was considered gorgeous. And to me, it still is. And that's one of the reasons I chose her scene in season 1, episode 2, Jamie Newman full frontal, my 3rd best full frontal of the year.
You make a good point, and I don't even think it was your intention. It's like kind of the trends and what goes on in popular culture tell us what's beautiful. And the fact is, Jamie Newman is smokingly beautiful, even though she might not fit into either the Kim Kardashian look or the super ripped look. It's like she is all herself. And when you have a woman that is so confident and rocks her naked body, that is what's beautiful. And it kind of transcends what is popular at the time or this, that, or the other. Of course, this is fitting to the period of which The Deuce was filmed. But I'm with you. I think she's stunning. I like that she's a little bit fuller figured, but again, not being full figured at all, but just a little thickness to her. And you know what happens when you have a little thickness to you? Your boobs are bigger.
Yes,
so
thank you.
Of course we like it.
Yeah, and she plays an up and coming porn star in this, and she's getting some photographs taken, and that's why she's completely nude. But I got to tell you, it's really extra hot when the curtains don't match the drapes sometimes, because there's...
Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something dirty about it. You get a sense that this babe was like really working to make herself sexy as possible or something. I don't know. I just... This scene just for some reason just really jumped out at me, and I chose it as my
her pubes
third.
are very dark.
Yeah,
love it. Very, very deep, almost black.
Yeah, it's almost taboo. Like, you know, so
with blonde hair.
Yes.
But it goes to show you how much bleach is used.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't think that you'll ever really find too many blondes with matching blonde bushes. I mean, we have seen them, but for the most part, it's not going to match.
No, I got you.
But this is a far drastic contrast.
Oh yeah, no question. So I loved Jamie Newman as my third best full frontal of the week. Now let me get my.
Skin, yeah, baby.
Oh, the Wheel of Skin. Yes, this is the weekly part of the show where CP the EP spins the wheel here at the Mr. Skin offices, and I, of course, am Pat. Say jack off. You are.
I'm Badger White.
Yes, and this is a Merck and Griffin production, and this is fun because he'll just randomly pick one of the 28,000 actresses at our website, and I will kind of riff on, their skinography, how you
just
might know
off
them,
the top of your head,
where you could see them naked, and CP, go right ahead and let me know what you come up with.
And we have Nastasia Kinski.
Ooh, do you remember who she is, Andrea? Do you know who that is?
Not at all.
Oh, my
God.
God.
That name is not ringing a bell. You really got to let me know who this babe is.
Well, she's a German actress. She actually was a 1980s superstar. She was in a ton of movies in the 1980s that you probably have heard of, and I'll get to her nude scenes. But seems like the Hotel New Hampshire, Paris, Texas. Trying to think what else people would remember. Well, Tess is one for sure from the late 70s that people would remember her from. But Nastasia Kinski was the daughter, and by the way, I would say she's like 56 or 57 now, and she's still beautiful. She's the daughter of Klaus Kinski, the crazy German actor, and I remember reading once that Roman Polanski got her into acting, and it seems weird to me because her father was an actor, but it was him who she met and he told her that she should get into acting. But here's the thing. I think he directed Tess too, so that must be how. That must be he must have been the one that not only got her into acting, but when he was getting ready to do Tess, thought of her, and I'm sure he banged her many times. But she is interesting. I remember she has a daughter by Quincy Jones, believe it or not, and she has another daughter, Sonia Kinski, with another guy. I think it was a producer, and her daughter did a great nude scene in All God's Children Could Dance from 2008, which is pretty wild. But Andrea, what people would know Nastasia Kinski from, by the way, she's been in about 21 movies where she's been naked. She's in the Mr. Skin Hall of Fame, but two movies that'll always be near and dear to me. One is Cat People. Remember the movie Cat People? Does that ring a bell with you? A horror movie? Oh my God, you're so young. It's a horror classic. It's a Paul Schrader horror classic from 1982, and she went full frontal. Just a fantastic, great horror movie from the 80s. She was, the star of the movie, and just great stuff. And then before that, she did a movie when she was like probably 18, 19 years old called Stay As You Are with Marcello Mastroianni. And there's a famous scene in that movie where it was like they're in a hotel room and they're eating breakfast, and she's just walking around completely naked, and he's really into her, but he's an older guy and she's young, and they've had a night of sex, and he's really into her, and she's sexy as hell, but she's like very just like goofy and promiscuous and just, he's like kind of a little stodgy and anyway, she goes in the bathroom and she takes one of the glasses and she pees in the glass. And
what?
Yeah. And she comes back in the room and he thought it was like a glass of apple juice or orange juice or something, and he takes a sip of it while she's completely naked, and he spits it out. It was just I remember seeing that. It was one of the first cable movies when I was a kid I saw, and I thought that was really cool. But she made a lot of wild European movies where she was very naked. But like I said, Nastassja Kinski's in the Mr. Skin Hall of Fame. That's a great Wheel of Skin, again, by CP. Great spin.
Wow.
And, I hope you might want to go to our website and check out Nastassja Kinski. She's gorgeous. You'll dig her.
Well, I'm going to do that as soon as we're done with this podcast, but I don't want to do it now because I'll get distracted while we try to finish up the rest of your top 10 full frontals.
Yes. Well, let me get to my top 10 full frontals of the year. And the last two are going to be familiar to you because they also happen to be in my top 10 nude scenes of the year. And number 2 is Natalie Krill in the movie Below Her Mouth. And this is that movie we talked about where, listen, it is without question, the scene is great, but I should set the stage by saying that this is this Canadian film about a hot weekend affair between a roofer, played by Erica Linder, and a fashion editor, which Natalie Krill is. And they have some of the hottest girl scenes in this movie, but this scene where Natalie Krill is at the bathtub laying using the water from the faucet to basically masturbate to is one of the hottest scenes. And you talked about this last week, how the lighting and the beauty and everything else just makes this just a spectacular scene.
I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. I think whenever we can see a beautiful actress in a scene where she's pleasuring herself, no matter how it happens, is just crazily hot. But she's so beautiful. And I know that this did make our, top nudity list as well. Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that it's not just what she's doing. It's the full frontal.
Yeah.
We see it all in here because she could be masturbating on the side. She could be masturbating with her back to us, or we could see maybe just the bottom half or just the top half. We get it all, and we get it for a long time. It's extended, and there's so much hot lesbianism in this movie, but this full frontal is really stand out for so many ways.
And I have a question for you. Can you, when you were younger?
Yes.
Okay, so you could get the water from the tub and all that to get off on?
Younger. Let's just say this. The bathtub is any female's best friend.
Okay.
Some spouts are better than others.
Oh, and I've heard that.
I'll tell you, she has it right in this scene. See how that spout is not super close to the porcelain? Mm-hmm. Anytime it's a short spout and it's so close to the tub wall, you really can't get under it the way you need to. So when it sticks out a little bit, so you can position your body under it, it's going to be a much better result. And ladies, if you're listening, you want to put the temperature, right around, 98.6, because that's going to be the most lifelike feeling, or maybe even a little bit warmer. Don't try it with the cold. You will be in for a rude awakening.
Oh, no. I can't imagine you go with cold water, but yeah.
Well, I tried it once because I thought, this might be fun. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no.
It was a quick recoil.
So, yeah, I'm glad because I don't want cold water anywhere near any of my bathtub antics. I want to. I can't afford it. So, anyway. But, yeah, that was our second best nude scene.
Natalie Krill,
and also our second best full frontal scene. So, and funny, it turns out there were a lot of new stuff in this, but there's no way I can't have this as the number one full frontal because it was also my number one nude scene of the year. But without question, Christina Ricci in Z, The Beginning of Everything, the Amazon show where she played Zelda Fitzgerald, the original 1920s flapper, F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife. This scene where she stands at the doorway and opens a door in front of a party of cigar-smoking, bootleg scotch-drinking jazz guys from the 20s is so hot. And the fact that it's Christina Ricci was not only my best nude scene of the year, but also the best full frontal scene of 2017.
What is so interesting and stand out about this. It's like, let's say someone at a party in 2017 was going to get naked. It would still be very, very weird and very, very bizarre out of nowhere. When you think this is a woman in the 1920s going full frontal. I mean, this was before nudity was common and people were taking, their own pornos on their cell phone cameras. You know what I mean? This was like nudity and sex was really taboo at this time. And so you have Christina Ricci as this character coming out in this era, and just standing there with her arms up in the doorway with her knee popped, seeing both boobs, full bush, everything. It's like there's nowhere to hide in this scene. And it was just, it's a total standout. I can see why it's number one. And the star power, man. The star power. Yeah. Christina Ricci, everyone knows her. I don't care who you are or how old you are, because we've mentioned before, she's been acting for decades. Yep. And she's been in so many huge, huge blockbusters and movies that still people still watch over and over today. So she is something else, man. Yeah, I am. I can't say enough about her. Christina Ricci in Z, The Beginning of Everything, my favorite full frontal of 2017, and also my favorite nude scene of the year. So, Andrea, another fun list. I love doing lists, and I hope I introduced you to some nudity, some full frontal nudity today that you didn't know about. I know you knew a couple of these, but there was some new ones in there that I hope I turned you on to. Let me tell you what you turned me on to. Jamie Newman's natural body in The Deuce, that natural 70s body. You introduced me to a six-pack in Carrie Coon's Poon. Yes, thank you. In The Leftovers. And Ginger Boobs and Bush with Lydia however you say her last name, Menwez. India Menwez, In India, not Lydia. India Menwez in I Love Dick. I mean, come on. Thanks for saying that, and I didn't have to say it. Thanks. Here, I'll give you a standalone. I love dick. Woohoo! All right, episode 77, everyone. The top 10 full frontal scenes of the year via Mr. Skin. Check it all out, MrSkinPodcast.com. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.